35 years ago, I came to know John Trasviña, then a Lowell High School senior, when we served together on the San Francisco School District Affirmative Action Committee. Since that time, I've had the privilege to witness the total commitment of this native-born San Franciscan to the cause of civil rights. John's recent appointment as the Assistant Secretary for Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity has its roots in what he has accomplished for the voting, employment, and educational rights of racial minorities in our nation. From his Harvard senior thesis on bilingual elections to his job as the lead staff counsel for the U.S. Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on the Constitution, John has always fought to protect the voting rights of language minority citizens. In 1992, John involved CAA and others to help build a strong record for the reauthorization of the bilingual election provisions of the Voting Rights Act, which at that time was under very severe attack. John built a successful strategy to expand the number of language minority citizens covered under the Act. As a result, more limited English proficient Chinese, other Asians, and Latino voters across the nation are exercising their right to vote today. No less important is John's accomplishments in the area of immigration. Racially motivated anti-immigrationists have long wanted to severely reduce, if not abolish, family-based immigration. At the Constitution Subcommittee with former Senator Paul Simon of Illinois, John led efforts to save the fifth immigration preference for brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens, the visa most often used by Asian Americans to be reunited with family members. As the highest ranking Latino in the Clinton Justice Department, John headed up the office that fought immigration-related unfair employment practices. At that time, he made sure that U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno visited CAA so that the Chinese community could discuss with her our deep concerns about immigration enforcement and family visa backlogs. And before his most recent federal appointment, John led the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund to successfully litigate against local anti-immigrant ordinances that would deny immigrants access to housing, jobs, and business opportunities. CAA has indeed been fortunate to have John as a dues-paying member of this organization for the last 30 years. He has always maintained his roots in San Francisco while fighting racial discrimination and inequality throughout the country. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to present the flame of justice to John Trasviña for what he has achieved and will continue to do so for racial justice and equality in our nation.
Thank you, Henry. It is a true honor to be before you all tonight. I salute CAA for 4 decades of principled leadership, standing up for the rights of Chinese Americans, Asians, non-English speakers, immigrants, and for justice for all. Henry Durr has been my mentor, advisor, and friend since I was an impressionable Lowell High School senior. Over the years, I have learned from Henry and stood with you on bilingual ballots, affirmative action, racist portrayals of Asians in the media, discriminatory university admissions policies at UC and the Ivy League, hate crimes, and immigration. The CAA is more than any person heading It is dedicated to a set of principles, and Henry's successors, Diane, Vincent, Ted, have carried on admirably. I've had the honor to have mentors like Henry and bosses I have respected in my career. Senator Paul Simon of Illinois, Attorney General Janet Reno, and now HUD Secretary Sean Donovan, and of course, President Barack Obama. We as a nation, last month lost a tremendous hero in Senator Kennedy. But the biggest and perhaps only measurable dispute Senator Simon and Senator Kennedy ever had was over the fifth preference, because it was the visa most often used by Asian Americans to be reunited with brothers and sisters. And when I first read the first draft of the Kennedy-Simpson bill back in 1987, it would have virtually eliminated the fifth preference. And the compromise that was offered would have made an already very long wait of 20 years into an 80-year wait to be reunited, as if that was any kind of compromise at all. But the reason for that opposition, because I remember my days in San Francisco, and I remember the rallies here and immediately called CAA, the successful fight to save fifth preference waged by Asian Americans, and Senator Simon was a catalyst to galvanize the community to greater heights of activism and political strength, and I'm pleased to have played a small part in it. But it's great to be home tonight and to be around friends and allies on causes and campaigns for justice over these many years. And as I return to Washington to HUD, I carry with me CAA's values for bilingual services. In the first 120 days that I've been Assistant Secretary, we now have printed bilingual, our HUD documents in 12 to 15 different languages. We are posting jobs requiring Asian language or Spanish language capabilities in our jobs in California, and we'll be doing that in other parts of the country as well. So I am proud to take CAA's values to Washington to make sure that HUD is inclusive of Asian Americans, that the fight for affirmatively further fairing housing includes Asian Americans, and together we will never be defeated. Thank you very much.